Meizu has recently introduced new devices. For those unfamiliar with this brand, in its early days, it was alongside Xiaomi, becoming one of the leading emerging brands. It gained a lot of attention due to their unique designs. Meizu's operating system was a strong competitor to MIUI, offering a very different interface from the norm during its early stages. However, interestingly, Meizu did not reach the same level of development as Xiaomi. As a result, Meizu tends to go a bit unnoticed nowadays. Nonetheless, believe me, they still have impressive developments and quality products. Concepts. So they have just launched a brand new series named the Meizu Note 16. I am not a fan of them using the name Note, but anyway, let's dive into the specifications of these devices. We are discussing the Meizu Note 16 and the Meizu Note 16 Pro. The Pro version features an ultra-slim design measuring 6.75 millimeters. While it is not quite as thin as the Galaxy S25 Edge, it still ranks among the slimmest devices available right now. It is reported that they have a quite rugged and rigid design, specifically to ensure that it never bends or anything similar, and it includes IP68 protection, so it will perfectly withstand being dropped in water. The display measures 6.78 inches, featuring an AMOLED 2K screen with a refresh rate of 144 Hz and a peak brightness of 4500 nits. Additionally, it supports HDR content, guaranteeing that the screen will be of very high quality. On the back, there is a 50% megapixel camera, which is accompanied by an 8-megapixel ultra-wide camera. For selfies, the device offers a camera with 8 megapixels. This device is equipped with a 6200 mAh battery, which is quite surprising given its slim design. It also supports fast charging at 80 watts. The processor inside is the Snapdragon 7S Gen 3. Additionally, it can be configured with up to 16 gigabytes of RAM and offers internal storage options up to 512 gigabytes. Furthermore, it supports dual SIM functionality and operates on Android 16, complemented by its own custom system, Flymore iOS 2. In addition, it has fingerprint reader inside the screen, stereo sound, and supports Wi-Fi 6 networks. As you realize, we are not talking about a full flagship, but a good competitor for the upper mid-range, although I would have liked to see a telephoto camera or something like that. But now, let me tell you about the Meizu 16, which is the base model. This device comes with 6.78-inch LCD Full HD display with 120 Hz, brightness of 1050 nits, and the processor, curiously, is a Unisoc T8200 mode, which will be a much simpler device. It is accompanied by 8 GB of RAM and up to 256 GB of storage. In the photographic section, we will find 50 megapixel camera, accompanied by a 2 megapixel marketing camera, supposedly to detect depth. The highlight of this device is the front, which comes with fairly thin edges, at least according to what is reached to see in the images, although it could vary with respect to how it looks in real life. We will discover an 8-megapixel front camera, but the main attraction will be its 6600 mAh battery, which supports a 40 watts load. Regarding resistance, it includes an IP level of protection against water and dust, meaning it cannot be submerged. However, it does feature a 3.5mm jack for connecting wired headphones. Additionally, it offers support for Wi-Fi 6. Currently, these devices have been introduced in China. As you can see, Meizu is still not as strong as we would like, but it seems that they have been gradually introducing more devices than we were used to, so they are probably on an expansion plan. We'll have to see if later on these devices are launched globally. Let's know the prices, but I already anticipated you that they were presented in China. So the most basic configuration of the Meizu Note 16 with 8 gigabytes of RAM and 128 of storage will be priced at 799.9 yuan. This is more or less $110. On screen you see the reference prices in other currencies to give you an idea, but remember that the prices here are not the same as over there. The most basic configuration of the Meizu Note 16 Pro is 12 GB of RAM with 256 GB of storage at a price of 1,699 yuan, more or less $235. On screen again the reference prices to give you an idea. They are definitely very competitive prices.